I challenge you to imagine this. You've been playing EVE Online for several months, more than enough time to master the mechanics of the average game. You've done your research as a space trader and hauler pilot. And pirates? Ha! You're not scared of pirates. You plot a course from Jeddah, the giant trading hub of the universe, down to Hek, a smaller backwater trade hub in desperate need of supplies for the local faction war zone, mining interests, and sometimes pirates. A trade route with great potential for profits. But at 19 jumps away, it's kind of far, especially in this bucket. Instead, you decide to plot the shortcut that takes you through a few pirate systems, and can get you there in only 9 jumps. Aha, but you're no noob. You fit your beloved hauling ship, which you've affectionately named Eeyore, with a warp core stabilizer, so that even if some asshole pirate tries to disrupt your warp drive and prevent your escape, you'll just sail on past. All is quiet as you begin to pass through low security systems, and your heart jumps a bit as you emerge from the Stargate into a system called Ranker, and see several scary combat ships that are flashing red and yellow all over your overview, indicating that these people are criminals or pirates that have probably just wrecked some other unfortunate soul who came this way. The moment of truth arrives as the natural cloak protection on the Stargate emergence counts down, and you must try to align out to the next Stargate to get into warp. As your ship slowly begins to turn, the attack comes fast. The barrages of weapons melt your shields. Come on, warp, you say, as your ship aligns and gets up to speed, but you can't warp. Why can't I warp? You yell to yourself. The warp core stabilizer you so smugly had fit seems to have no effect. You watch helpless as your hull indicator drops. You eject into your pod and watch the flaming wreck of your beloved hauler, Eeyore, blow up. Before you can mourn the ship, there's a flash of light and your corpse is floating in space. The asshole pirates decided to destroy your pod as well and actually kill you. All of your haul, all of those combat drones and capacitor boosters were probably being picked clean from whatever survived from the dead hulk that was once Eeyore. The shock of the event leaves you staring at the screen slightly dumbfounded as your dreams of making profits that day in EVE are crushed. Now before those of you who are pirates and criminals in EVE click away, wait up. I'm not what you call a Care Bear in EVE Online, crying salty tears about how hard EVE is. No, I'm simply going to explain the nature of the problem of piracy and crime in this game, how it works, and how often it doesn't work. To do this right though, I must explain things from the point of view of the victim first. The scenario I just described is one of the more well-known methods of piracy in EVE Online, the gate camp, specifically a Lowsec space gate camp, where the victim has no protection from the near godlike powers of the Concord police force, but only token protection from the sentry guns on stargates and space stations, which as you can see here isn't always enough. Nor can a single warp core stabilizer overcome the amount of warp disruption points from the several ships the pirates have custom fit for camping those gates. There are ways to get past these gate camps, but this requires specific ships or specific knowledge to do this properly. People still go through gate camps out of naivety, hubris, error, or just plain carelessness, and if the gate is active enough, pirates can potentially profit quite a bit from these operations. The game designates people as pirates or criminals after their security status rating drops to below -5. This is also when they begin to appear bright red on your interface. This rating accrues as players steal cargo from others, attack and destroy other players' ships, and especially if they destroy the capsule or pod of a player, generally any kind of criminal act. Pod killing drops the most because you're effectively killing the particular clone of that character. Red criminals are kill on sight in high security space. If they enter HiSec, eventually the local police, not Concord, will catch up to them and destroy their ship, but not their pod. Other players, however, are free to attack these red criminals without any consequences at all. Now, there is one caveat here. The game doesn't register any criminal acts committed by those in a legitimate war, which is activated by the Corp or Alliance War Declaration mechanic. It also does not register anything as criminal that is committed in nullsec space, wormhole systems, or the Triglavian Pochvan region. This means as long as you declare war or aggressively PvP in anywhere except Lowsec and HiSec, players can avoid this flashy red criminal status. And here begins the crux of the problem, because you see, We're talking about piracy here. What is piracy? Piracy is defined as simply robbery on the high sea, or in this case, robbery in space. In EVE, there are a number of ways to legitimately engage in piracy. The war deck system is certainly one way. A griefing corp will identify vulnerable corporations or alliances that may not be able to defend themselves. From there, they can bully or extort them out of money or destroy their space structures for the loot, if it comes to that. Scamming and theft is another legitimate way. If you let the wrong person into your corp and they charm you into giving them access to your corp assets, they can happily relieve you of your corp's ships, supplies, and shared resources before you know what's happening. Scammers and JITA can use your own greed against you and trick you into accepting a cleverly crafted sales contract that you failed to examine properly, selling you junk that appeared to be a deal. And of course, there is the high-sec suicide ganker. These are people who don't care about the security status hit or getting their ship destroyed by Concord police, especially if they have scanned your ship and see that you're carrying something of great value. They will track you and suicide gank you only to take your haul with an alt account that they've created that they use for hauling and trading. But most of these piracy methods are not what we would consider the romantic idea of piracy, or robbery on the high seas you might think of, the type that occurred in the Caribbean in the 18th century with Blackbeard and all that, because that type of piracy arose in areas that were war-torn, lightly policed, but most importantly, full of very unique and valuable resources that could only come from those regions, things like coffee and sugar, especially sugar. There really is no equivalent to this in EVE, certainly not in Lowsec, and Lowsec is by far the area of space where players are more likely to obtain this criminal and pirate sec status. This is because the density of PvE combat is higher in Lowsec than most other types of space, especially in faction warfare zones. And to get a fight, this often means you must aggressively attack someone and take that sec status hit. If there were a unique and valuable resource, especially in Lowsec where most criminals are born, an equivalent to something like sugar in the Age of Sail, then this might revolutionize the pirate life in EVE. I will note that the most valuable ores are kind of in Lowsec now, but this isn't enough to really drive piracy. To the average EVE player, a pirate invokes many emotions. They range from fear to hate to awe and respect. A pirate can ruin your day in EVE and sometimes your entire EVE career if they manage to catch and kill a ship you've labored to build or buy for a long time. Pirates and criminals are part of the game, and they're there to stay. But let's flip the script now. I've already laid out how sometimes piracy, especially for corp thieves and scammers, can be profitable. But what do pirates truly get out of it? Especially the ones labeled as criminals, the ones that show up as flashy red on your overview due to a negative sec status. So I've found a pirate. Let's interview him and see what he says about it. So, Mr. Pirate, as a blood red criminal, does that mean you collect a lot of valuable loot from the ships you kill? Kind of like they got sugar, rum and tobacco and cocoa back in the days of Sail?
No, not normally, no. I mean, we do okay, but mostly it's the thrill of making all 3 rings of defense on my victim's ship red and seeing that beautiful explosion and kill nail like a trophy.
Okay, so a sort of wash there then, I suppose. So as a pirate, can you still easily trade?
No. See, the trade hubs that count are all in high-sec. If I fly a hauling ship in high-sec, it's suicide. No. See, I have to rely on others to bring me all the ships and weapons I need from trade hubs or an alt.
Okay, well that doesn't sound very convenient, but you don't have access to something like a black market where you can get special ships or weapons just for pirates?
No, there is no black market in New Eden. Anyone can buy anything they want on the player market or contracts.
Okay, no, but what about drugs or boosters? Surely those have to be smuggled and only sold in Lowsec?
No. See, all the major empires legalized all the drugs. You can get them anywhere now. No criminal drug cartels anymore. Funny thing that.
Okay, well, do pirates get any special abilities to capture ships in combat? Since most pirates in the Age of Sail got a lot of ships that way.
No. Such ability to hack an enemy ship or board it with some kind of space marines exists.
Huh, okay, well, what about this? People with positive sex status get bonuses for certain ships, like surplus Concord police ships. Like the Enforcer, those are cool ships. Don't you get a similar bonus for negative sex status when operating certain pirate designs?
No, there are no bonuses for us on any ships.
But for sex status there is it?
Yeah, but not for neg sex status.
Huh, that seems a little unfair. What about your standing towards NPC pirate cartels like the Garistas, Blood Raiders, Serpentis, Angel Cartel? Don't they like you more for being criminal?
No, see, sometimes we have to kill those pirates ourselves to get some income.
But they don't even give you access to some of their missions?
No. See, the pirate agents that will give you missions are not normally anywhere near Lowsec.
Wow, it sounds like you aren't getting much advantage out of going pirate.
Yes, well, we are feared, you see.
Okay, well, what about token or cosmetic perks? Do you get access to certain ship skins when you go pirate?
No special ship skins.
What about costumes, specifically for being a pirate?
No.
A cool hat?
No.
A dink mask?
No.
A new tattoo?
No. A pet? No.
Wow. So, in all seriousness then, I won't deny that I feel there really should be some kind of tangible perk in this game for being a criminal, but to date, there are none. So why do it? Why take the security status hit and be a pirate? Well, first of all, there is a certain psychological perk, meaning people are naturally intimidated by pirates. Even veteran PvPers are more wary of the red guy than the others. On the one hand, many run from them rather than stand and fight, or they may actually panic in a fight and do stupid things. On the other, red pirates are often the first to be primaried and killed in a fleet fight because, well, they're bright red in the UI. There is also a cultural perk. We have seen some people strive to get negative sex status because they simply want to be that guy. They want to be that guy who's known to take the hit as a badge of honor in order to really PvP. The bottom line is this: yes, pirates are definitely a neglected class in the game. However, well-situated players with trade-off characters can still thrive, and in some cases make good ISK as a pirate. I've repaired my own security status several times at great expense and gone legit, so to speak, but I always find my sex status creeping back down to red over and over again, until I simply let it go.
Hey, is it worth it?
Oh yeah, it's worth it. If you're strong enough.
By the way, if you're interested in a pirate PvP corp, you can try ours. We do have standards, but don't let this deter you, because if you pass the requirement, we'll be glad to have you. If you don't pass the standards, we can put you in an alt corp, keep you around as an out-of-corp pet for a while, or point you in the right direction. Details are in the description below. As always, bang the notification bell, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, do you hate or love pirates? How can the piracy and criminal aspect of EVE be improved? Until next time, space friends.
It's,